to Appliance Master Live. I'm Bill, and with me again is Kari.
Hello, and today we're going to be discussing some questions that were submitted from our customers about dryers specifically. If you notice that there's something that was not answered in this segment, feel free to go to our website, appliancemaster.com, call the office, 800-752, or simply comment on this video. So, ready?
I don't know, am I supposed to be the answer man today, or?
You are the expert on this. So the first question we have that was submitted was, how does my dryer know that the clothes are dry?
Well, it doesn't really, the dryers don't really know that the clothes are dry.
Mm-hmm.
They basically make educated guesses. Like for instance, if you put on a timed cycle, like if you put on for 30, 40 minutes, that's your educated guess how long that's going to take to dry. Automatic cycles on a dryer, most brands, most models do a similar thing. They might measure the length of time the heating cycle is on, and they keep track of the heating cycle as it gets shorter, because there's what absorbs all the heat is the moisture. So the less moisture, the less heat is required to get to temperature.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Does it?
Yes.
I could go on. All right.
And then let's see. So the dryers, so do they have a sensor for moisture in them, or is it just the heat itself?
As far as I know, very few do. There were very few, and the only one I'm aware of was, Maytag years ago had an actual sensor that used the actual moisture in the clothes to complete a circuit.
Okay.
Like I'm not aware of anyone that does that now. They still measure again the amount of time the heat cycle comes on and goes off. And,
Oh, that makes a lot of sense actually. And then let's move on to the next question. This is something that we have to explain to customers quite often, and it's, why is flexible venting bad? Loaded question there.
Yeah, because flexible venting isn't necessarily bad if you're using the right product. A lot of times people use the wrong. I don't know if we have a prop over there in the corner. This will be this. Okay. This is the wrong venting to put on a dryer. You know how you can tell? Because it says right on here, I don't know if you can read that, it says, not for dryer venting. All right? Now, see, this is this foil-based will burn at a much lower temperature than sending it back your way. Oh boy. That last one was a paper-based, foil-based, and it burns, I don't know the temperature, but it's much lower. So if you got a fire in your dryer, that's going to burn, and I like to say it's like a fuse. It's just going to burn into your house. This other flexible venting is made out of aluminum, and it has a much higher flash point. It's much heavier, more expensive, and but that's what.
Yeah, this is a lot heavier.
If you need to use flexible venting, something like that is what you should use. Of course, rigid venting, where it's straight wall pipe, is the best because those straight walls offer the least amount of resistance to airflow. And if you can tell, like any flexible venting is going to have, can you see me in there? I don't know if it's like
there's the grooves and the
and then of course it bends, and all those little ribs create turbulence, and we don't need any more turbulence in our lives, do we? So, but if so it's not necessarily bad if you use the right product, and also, I believe this stuff is, a lot of building codes require this sort of thing.
And isn't, with the venting, I know, dryer venting fact, every angle is equivalent to a certain amount of feet, from what I understand, so.
If you have a 90-degree rigid elbow or bend like that, that is the equivalent of 5 feet of straight rigid pipe. So in any venting system.
So I guess with the flex venting, all the bends and curves would add.
See, that's why the only real way to test an entire system is measure the back pressure in the entire system to get accurate readings. But that's not a question for nobody asked.
All right, so you've got one more.
It's like a slinky a little bit.
It is like a slinky.
Sorry. Can I go downstairs alone or in pairs? Get that out of here.
And so the last question that we have is, why should I clean the lint filter with every single load from the dryer?
Because your mother says so. No. Because, well, that lint is a barrier to the airflow system. So, I mean, that's why it sticks there in the first place, because that's particles of clothing that's coming off your clothes and it's heading out to the outdoors. And then, so that builds up, it gets thicker, and it's going to reduce the airflow through the system. Reducing the airflow is going to
Longer drying times. Burning out the parts.
So just clean it every time. Just do as you're told.
Listen, clean the vent. Listen and clean the vent the lint screen every time you use your dryer. Because then that'll reduce the lint building up inside the dryer too, right?
Yes.
So those were our questions that were submitted, and again, if something wasn't answered and you have something specific that you'd like to ask us, please.
Anything at all.
Yes, please visit our website, appliancemaster.com. Give us a call, 800-752-7123. And then we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for tuning in, and again, we'll see you next week.